Hey, so as the title would suggest, I built a guitar. There we go. I built a guitar, yes. So, turn that down. Basically, I got a book from Guitar Center a while ago. It was about guitar tone and where it comes from and how construction and all the parts go into it. And I was just kind of like, oh hey, this is like everything I need to know. If I wanted to build a guitar. My dad was like, oh yeah, you could do that. And so we did. Like in the next couple of days, we bought wood and stuff. So that's where the idea came from. This particular guitar, it's based on the Les Paul Jr. double cutaway, and I got that idea from Switchfoot because they're like my favorite band and stuff, and their guitarist uses one of these pretty heavily, and same color, same everything, except he has got like a real one from the 50s or the 60s, whatever. So yeah, I mean that's how I decided on this particular style of guitar. Plus, with just one pickup and all that, it was a lot. It would cheaper and easier, especially with the wiring and stuff. I mostly built it from scratch. The neck I ordered that all made. It had the inlays, the frets, and the holes. The headstock was all done and everything. But the body, cutting that out and everything, and putting the rest of it all together, I did completely myself. The body's alder, and we got a long board. It was like 2 inches thick, 7 inches wide. Cut that into pieces and glued 2 side by side. Can't really see the seam on the front, but it's a lot easier to see on the back, maybe. So yeah, so we glued that together, let that dry overnight, came back later, and I cut out the shape with a bandsaw. In the future, I'll probably cut out the rough shape with the bandsaw and then get the actual, close cut with a table router, because with the bandsaw, a couple of times I cut too deep, and at the same time kind of scorched the wood. So that's where like this black line is from. There's another one near the peg there, and then there's a whole bunch of them in here, in the cutaways. And those like to get dust in there and stuff. There's a lot of it in there right now. Anyways, yeah, so in the future, note to self. After that, I sanded it all smooth. The sides and everything. I did a lot of sanding to kind of refine the shape down a bit. And then I also I smoothed out the edges here so they're nice and round, and I did that by hand with big metal file. That was fun. And the rest, we routed the cavity for the pickup and for the controls back here. And we also routed this heel. This is the neck pocket. It's not much of a pocket since there's nothing on either side. This is the one difference between this and the actual Les Paul Jr. double cut, because that one actually has a set neck. But since the neck I ordered was a bolt-on, I got I carved a neck pocket here and bolted it on. So yeah, I mean, that's the woodworking part. we did a lot of drilling myself, and I got most of the hardware from Guitar Parts USA. That was where it was the cheapest. I got a couple of stuff from Guitar Center, like the tuners, the jack cover plate here. I got the pick guard from like eBay, pretty sure, and it was for a regular Les Paul Jr. without the second cutaway, and on those the neck is farther into the body, so it had this point coming up here, and I filed that off too. So the actual plate used on the double cuts is rounder in this part here. And then this cover here, I actually cut and sanded that out of a piece of plastic myself. So anyways, back to building. After we got it all cut, I got some red wood stain from Stu Mac, and it was about 3 coats of that. It was a little more on the neck because I had to use the neck's mahogany, and so you have to use a grain filler on it, or you're supposed to, and it said it was stainable, but it was kind of giving me some trouble and didn't want to soak it in. So yeah, there's that. And then the coating is nitrocellulose lacquer. It's supposed to give you a nice mirror-like finish. It probably looks nice and perfect to you, but there's a lot of little dimples and stuff all over it. Yeah. Then the symbol here and the headstock, I just got a can of lacquer-based paint at Home Depot. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. There's, if you really look at it closely, then like the mistakes and the imperfections build up pretty fast. But with all the stuff on it and all that, they're not as noticeable, and it looks really nice. I can point to a bunch of spots with like sand throughs. The stain on the neck is really like kind of splotchy. There's a place where I kind of cut through the lacquer. All this black paint stuff has got like really messy edges. I don't know if it was like the kind of masking tape I used or what. And the binding on the neck, you can't really see it, but there's just a lot of like red from the stain there. Oh, and I also got a little bit of stain on the fretboard in places. Other than that, it plays pretty well. I was pretty pleased with it. It's, the neck is, I got it straight and everything. The one problem with it is the frets aren't all perfectly level, so there's some pretty crazy buzz in places, like yeah, those are the worst ones, and there's a spot down here. Other than that, there's just a few places, mostly up high down here, where the strings will buzz a bit, but not so much that you can't hear the note, and when you plug it into the amp, then you can't really hear those much anyways, so I could have gotten that fixed when I took this to go get a setup at Guitar Center, but that would have been an extra $50 and I wouldn't have gotten it back till tomorrow, which is no good. So yeah, I'm gonna play it a bit. Show you what it sounds like. It sounds good. I love it. So just the clean, just straight through the amp. Volume's only about like 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. And so this is a single coil pickup, a P90, which they're known for being hotter than most single coil pickups. Basically what that means is like when you just kind of strum lightly, then you get a pretty clean sound, but if you put any kind of force into it, yeah, that's sharp. Then yeah, you get that really kind of dirty sound, which you can actually, you can get rid of that pretty easily by turning the volume and the tone down to about 7 or 8. You just need to turn the volume up a little louder. Yeah, so there's that. It's pretty simple. It's just one pickup, there's one volume, one tone. It sounds pretty good through all these different amp settings I've got. I've got like this is a Fender Frontman 25, blah, it's a digital amp. It models a bunch of different Fender amps and a couple of non-Fender amps. So there's like some tube amps, there's like Hot Rod, Blackface, then there's the British setting, which is for like a couple Marshall and Vox type settings, which is what I like to use the most, really. I like Fender and all, but yeah. So turning on some delay, just sample it for you. Seems appropriate to play Switchfoot songs, considering this is my Switchfoot-guitar. Do some more. Whoops. Yeah. Alright, let's do a different one. Go for a cleaner. Let's see. That's probably not a good one. The first frets aren't any good. Well, yeah, there it is. It works and feels good. No huge glaring errors, nothing that keeps it from being playable. It looks great, better than I expected, and I love it. This is my child.